Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest near a gentle river, there lived a little turtle named Toby. Toby was small, with a green shell that sparkled in the sunlight. He loved playing in the warm sun, swimming in the river, and munching on sweet berries. But there was one thing Toby didn't like at all: the dark. Every night, when the sun went down and the sky turned from pink to purple, Toby would hurry back to his cozy little den under the big oak tree. He would tuck himself into his shell and shiver a little, listening to the strange sounds of the night, the rustling leaves, the hooting owls, and the chirping crickets made him feel nervous. Toby was afraid of the dark. One evening, as the sun was setting, Toby's best friend, a wise old frog named Freddie, hopped over to visit him. "Will you always hide when the stars come out, Toby?" asked Freddie, blinking his big, round eyes. "The nighttime can be fun, too." "I don't like the dark, Freddie," Toby replied with a frown. "It's scary. I never know what's out there." Freddie smiled kindly. "The night isn't scary, Toby. It's just different from the day. Maybe, if you take a little walk with me tonight, you'll see that it's not so bad." Toby wasn't sure. He looked at the setting sun, and then at Freddie, who was waiting patiently. But what if something big and scary comes out? Freddie chuckled. "I promise, nothing scary will happen. I'll be with you the whole time." Toby took a deep breath and decided he would try to be brave. "Okay, Freddie. But just a short walk, all right?" As the last rays of sunlight disappeared, the forest became a soft blanket of shadows. The sky darkened, and little twinkling stars began to peek out one by one. Toby followed Freddie, his heart beating fast. At first, everything seemed quiet. But then Toby heard a rustling in the bushes. His head snapped around. "What was that?" Toby whispered, his voice shaky. Freddie laughed softly. "It's just the wind, Toby. Look." He pointed to the leaves gently swaying on the trees. "The wind is saying goodnight to the forest." Toby watched the leaves dance and realized Freddie was right. The wind wasn't scary. It was soft and calm, like a lullaby. They continued walking until they reached the edge of the river. Toby glanced around nervously, but Freddie seemed completely relaxed. "Look, Toby," said Freddie, pointing up to the sky. "Do you see those little lights?" Toby followed Freddie's gaze and saw tiny golden lights twinkling around them. At first, he thought they were stars that had fallen from the sky, but as one light floated closer, Toby realized it was a firefly. "Hello, little turtle," the firefly said, buzzing happily. "Welcome to the nighttime forest. Isn't it beautiful?" Toby blinked in surprise. "It is beautiful," he whispered, watching the fireflies light up the darkness. He hadn't noticed them before, The firefly winked and flew off to join its friends, leaving Toby feeling a little less afraid. Freddie hopped ahead, and Toby followed, feeling a little braver with each step. They passed by tall trees and soft ferns, and soon Toby heard a gentle hoot. "Hoo, hoo, hoo," came the sound from above. Toby looked up and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring down at him from a tree branch. "Who are you?" Toby stammered. "I'm Ollie the Owl," said the bird in a low, kind voice. "I watch over the forest at night. There's nothing to be afraid of, little turtle. The night is peaceful." Toby smiled shyly. "I've always been afraid of the dark. But maybe it's not so scary after all." Ollie nodded wisely. "The night has its own magic, Toby. You just have to look closely to see it." Toby thanked Ollie, and as they moved along, he began to notice more things. The stars twinkled brightly, as if they were smiling down at him. The crickets chirped softly, their song steady and soothing. The cool breeze felt refreshing on his shell, and the rivers sparkled in the moonlight. "I didn't know the night could be so peaceful," Toby said, amazed. Freddie smiled. "See? There's nothing to fear, Toby. The forest is just as friendly at night as it is during the day." "You were brave to come out and see it for yourself." Toby felt proud. He had been scared, but now he knew there was no reason to hide from the night. The stars, the fireflies, the owl, and even the gentle wind all made the dark feel less frightening and more like an adventure. As they headed back to Toby's den, Toby yawned. His little legs were tired and his eyelids felt heavy. "I think it's time for bed," said Freddie, giving Toby a wink. Toby smiled. "Thank you, Freddie. I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. Now I know it's not scary. It's just different." Freddie hopped away, leaving Toby at his cozy den. Toby snuggled into his shell and looked out at the glowing stars one last time before drifting off to sleep. The nighttime forest wasn't scary at all. It was peaceful, quiet, and full of magic. And from that night on, Toby never hurried to his den at sunset. Instead, he would take his time enjoying the cool night air, the friendly creatures, and the twinkling stars. Knowing that the night had its own special charm. And so, Toby, the brave little turtle, learned that the dark wasn't something to be feared. It was something to be explored and enjoyed. Just like the day. The end.